It's okay. It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. Off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo. Man of the masses, my ego don't come, oh, my ego diary politico, my ego don't come, oh, this man not the off in mind, my ego don't come, oh, aha. Now you not done here, all these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want make the common man get waiting supposed get for this country. And I never hear something. Now go hear one, my ego. You go show na paper. My ego diary political. So my people make you shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we laugh, oh, yo.
Lovia. Brethren, so good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and a very good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun live. So thank you very much for joining me. Remember, after reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description as well, as usual. Then like it, share it, invite your friends and your not so friendly friends and tell them to join us too. Because Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. So tonight we are starting with the semi-burial of PDP, the once upon a time ruling party in Nigeria, whose supposed products of the party ended up, out of their greed, ended up destroying it, as much as it never really served the good interest of the Nigerians in the long run anyway. So their greed, their ambitions, and so on, as well as their indiscipline, contributed to the total annihilation of PDP. But that didn't kind of like manifest until when they played Werey Wike. When Werey Wike got played by the Northern Caucus of PDP, who sided with Atiku Abubakar at the time. From that moment on, the supposed demise of PDP began. And today, they have two factions. Faction that also, again, splitted by once upon a time friends, allies. I'm talking about the district governors, where Seyi Makinde is a member, maybe secretary, I've been a deputy. So after that, he said they only did that in 2023 with the plan that after they have betrayed their party in 2023 for Tinubu APC, then they will go back and rebuild it. Okay, rebuild their party for 2027. Something that Werey Wike sort of like disagrees with. Like, no, that's not what we're going to do. They would have to keep Tinubu in power for 8 years. And to achieve that, they must do everything to make it impossible for the likes of Atiku or Ravi to control the party. And they have succeeded. So Seyi Makinde split from him and formed a group with Bala Mohammed from Bauchi. So, cut the long story short, in November 2025, which is the last year, Makinde, Turaki, and the rest organized what they call the party convention in Ibadan. So the party convention in Ibadan produced Turaki as their own national chairman. And at that convention, Werey Wike was dismissed from the party, like expelled from the party. So that turned to another court case or court cases. And for those who knows Werey Wike and the bench in Nigeria, I don't know about another decade though, but for this decade, they have it all on lockdown in what is called the state capture, currently active in Nigeria anyway. So, Werey Wike and his gang, they got the upper hand. The Federal High Court dismissed whatever they did in Ibadan, which means it became like, a legal non-binding. And then the Werey Wike's team, they were given the upper hand. So they went to appeal. PDP of Turaki and Seyi Makinde went to court, appeal. And today, the court also ruled that, well, still, Werey Wike's gang are the authentic PDP. Therefore, they are the only people to be dealt with as PDP at the national level, the whole country. Do you know what that simply means? Is that it's like signing the final death warrant of the remaining 2 governors. Do you know that PDP only have just 2 governors left now? That Zamfara governor has left. So you now have just Bauchi and Oyo states as PDP states in Nigeria. So what Werey Wike intends to do is to ensure that, right, PDP will not be able to produce any presidential candidates. That's the topmost. And if for any reason they are unable to get the control of the party at that level, right, then definitely PDP will present no candidate at all in the whole country. Something they sold to those who are the National Assembly members. Because see, majority of them have no other job. They have no other means of survival except for this politics. And no matter how much they pretend to, to be on the side of the people, the highlight of their goal is to remain in that corridor of power and continue to milk the system in a way. So many of them knows that if they are unable to run for election, then they won't be able to actually rig election. And if they are unable to rig election, they are going to lose their meal tickets. So it was easier for them to quickly jump and join Tinubu's party, because if you stay stubborn and then waiting in PDP, you realize that there is nobody to sign your your interest form or something, and it will be too late for you to go to anywhere else. So that's what they sold to them. These disintegrated PDP from inside, from within. And as it is right now, the Nigerian court has them. So when the ruling was delivered in the appeal court today, Bala Mohammed and others, they had to walk out of the court in kind of like a disappointment and anger. But they are planning to go to Supreme Court anyway. I've actually given you almost all the story, right? But now let's go in and see how it all happened today when PDP of Turaki, which is the Seyi Makinde's faction, Bala Mohammed's faction, were told that for the second time, no, you are not the authentic PDP. The Werey Wike's faction was celebrating first the walkout. So that was the Bala Mohammed walking out. But for Turaki, and then the other guy, the former secretary, and I think he's still their secretary now, Werey Wike's secretary, Ayam. So they both addressed the press after the court. Okay, so I'm going to take you to that one, then to the next one. Here, when Bala Mohammed walked out in anger, disappointed. This one's didn't walk out in anger.
Thank the justices of the Court of Appeal for their hard work and industry. Not only in the marathon manner, they had the appeals, but even the way they delivered judgment this morning up to this evening. We have listened to the judgments of the Court of Appeal, and we still maintain our position that our courts have no business in meddling into matters that are purely political. These are matters that should be left to the internal affairs and internal resolution of the political parties. We have asked our lawyers to collect the certified true copies of the judgments that have just been delivered by the court. The court had promised that the judgments should be ready by tomorrow. So as soon as the judgments are received by our lawyers, they will advise us on what further necessary steps to take, if any, on the basis of the said judgment. So unless that is done for now, I will say good evening, members of the press. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. It's a victory for everyone. Justice has been done. I want to appreciate the court for being very critical in this judgment. And it's a wake-up call for political parties to be able to ensure that their affairs of the party is being guided by the constitution and other guidelines and instant laws. For us, we represent nobody because we are all PDP. And it's an opportunity to also call on every member of PDP to come back home. Let us move ahead. It's an opportunity for us again.
Sir, did you talk affirm the suspension of the party? It has been going.
But you've had, if you had recorded, you've heard that there was not like suspension, and it was not before the court. So that is just a mere
speculation. What's next for the party given this judgment now that we are done from the Court of Appeal? How ready are you guys for 2027?
Well, I can see already we have commenced with because of the judgment of the Federal High Court by Motosho, which asked us to go and ensure that congresses of the 14 states have been done. We have already started that, and then we are also preparing for our next convention, which will take place between 29th and 30th of next month. So I believe that other things are going on. We have also commenced our registration as a party. We are ready for the 2027 election.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, like I said, I have advised that what we want is peace in the party. Like I said, we have not won anybody. This is victory for every member of PDP. So if anybody decide or insists to go further, well, I wish them luck. But I don't think there will be anything different from what I've had today.
So with the Wike camp, this is just a fruitless effort for Makinde and others to still insist that they want to. But mind you, inside that same Nigeria, they have the Supreme Court judgment, right? I said that party politics, internal affairs of parties and all of that is their own business, that they shouldn't be bringing them to court. Unfortunately, they will take them to court, and court will still rule on, similar cases that they have actually ruled on, and Supreme Court has ruled on before. But that's how they roll it. It is one court order after the other, one court order, and all of these, they are all deliberate. Because at the end of the day, with the new INEC timetable, I've been at the INEC Electoral Act for 2026. So majority of your political parties, except for APC, you have been so much like a boxed, right, to the corner. And those who are doing for this, that of the PDP, right, we all know that is pretty much deliberate. So the effort is to ensure that the party would have no reason, because after this whole shenanigans, right, the next thing is you are going to see that the PDP is going to endorse Tinubu for second term. That's what you're going to see next. Because by then, it will just be the idea of the rainbow coalition nonsense that Werey Wike has been kind of like pushing everywhere. So right now, they advise the Turaki guys not to waste their time anymore. At this point, they've got two options. Join them, let them do what they want to do with PDP, or leave the party entirely. Others have been leaving, by the way. But here, from the court to Wike's room.
We'll go down. I say nobody. You will recall that the three of us. You will recall that the three of us had approached the Federal High Court. Constitution and guidelines in our party. And today, the Court of Appeal has spoken very loudly. The law has taken its course, and we are vindicated. We just want to say that we assure party members across the country that what we did was in the interest of democracy and the interest of Nigeria at large. Well, thank you all.
That's my own. I think that is an opportunity for PDP to look inwards to say, okay, we have fought. Now it's time to say, okay, enough is enough. Let's come back. Whatever we can do to put our hands together. Then we will, but if you continue with a fight, or let's go to Supreme Court and this, it is not going to go well for the party. If you're a lover of this party, you not encourage it. But if you say you want to go, we are always also ready. Because for me, it's a development of the law. Today, the most of us who are always talking about entire affairs, we don't even read what constitutes entire affairs of the party and what does not constitute entire affairs of the party. So many people have gone home to say anything that has to do with party is entire affair. That's not correct. And that's what the position. Look at all the appeals. We are all dismissed with cost, heavy cost. If you calculate the 9 appeals, and there's no one that did not say you pay 2 million naira. If you add 2 million naira, if you time by multiply 2 million to 9 appeals, that's about 18 million you must pay. So it's an opportunity for us. For me, we have done what we're supposed to do, and it's a stand now to say, okay, we have fought. Let us drop our personal interests and make sure that PDP becomes like the opposition party. And that's the only way Nigeria can move. The only opposition to I think we have is PDP. And the only party is APC. No other party are considered to be opposition. The matter fact that you are really stand as a political party does not necessarily make it to be opposition. But you don't have any seat anywhere. It doesn't make any sense. So that's my position.
Your Excellency, sir,
no, it is very.
I mean, you listen to that, right? We don't need to go to court anymore. All of us have to come together for this party. And we start working together for the progress of this party. It's not working for the progress of the party. Because Werey Wike is not working to make PDP contest against Tinubu, challenging. No. Like, how can you be a loyal party man that is working to relegate your own party? And then you're boldly saying that to camera, telling people that we are need to come together to work for this party. And that this is party. And the progress of this party. But there is no progress. You have helped call to swallow your supposed party with the plan that, okay, after Tinubu, they can all rebuild it back again and it can be business as usual. When politicians play God, yeah? So they took themselves to Shemu's studio on Politics Today, on Arise, this evening, on Top the Matter. So the one who is the supposed publicity secretary to the other faction, as well as the Werey Wike's chairman, the chairman of Werey Wike's faction, the one that is authentic, according to the court, right? They are both with Shemu this evening. First, the secretary.
that is what it will mean.
I mean, without having to be condescending, the interpretation of or the judgment of court today made it look so much that a lot of you in the PDP are political gangsters. And the court said that there are violations of the Constitution, the violation of your party rules, the violation of the Electoral Act. There is a substantive court order, and as a lawyer, you know what that means. And there's a lot of confusion in your party, and your party looks like a gang of confused politicians. And you see the implication of what has happened to your party today. Your party is left with how many governors? Maybe 2 or 1.5. Okay, so why does it look that your party, and the Court of Appeal has said, yes, you are challenging the right of the court to enter that matter, but the court has said there is a locus to, I mean, he has a right to be able to enter that matter, but the question is that there is a substantive court order which you should have gone to vacate or appeal. You did not, and you went to Ibadan. Holding on to another order.
Oh, glad you've gone there. My lords, in their wisdom and their consideration.
So your party is a party of confused people?
No, it's not. Whenever interests abound, and if the interests do not go head to head, people are bound to struggle for something. That is the nature of politics. It is inherent in politics that interests must collide. What is meant to
window shop on judgments of court?
You choose as a citizen. If you have issues with channels today, channels does not determine the court you go to. You choose your court. The High Court in Ibadan was approached by an individual, not by the party. We were sued too to that court, and we had 2 judgments. So we had a ruling and a judgment. And today the court has said, no, you haven't had these 2 judgments from a court of concurrent jurisdiction, you should have sought appeal. Now the question is, two judgments saying opposite things. Anything you do would mean obeying one and not obeying the other. That is the impracticability of that judgment. Okay, if you have a judgment that says do, you have another that says don't do. You fail to do means you have obeyed one. But the court said,
Mr.
will not
put that one on one.
Okay, hold on.
What about the judgment, the court order, which says allow Sule Lamido to participate in or get the opportunity to run for the chairman of the party? What about that order?
The judgment today in the appeal they filed, the court, even as an arbiter, went to the point of saying that despite the fact that people have expressed interest, that there is also a guideline and timeline for things to be done. That a congress or convention must be undertaken does not open the time ad infinitum. And when my lord finished, he said, well, that's an arbiter. But we are happy that he was even mentioned, and we'll get into the judgment of the court. Because those are the things we are saying. There was a period. This program has a time frame. And you invited me, and I'm here within the time frame. If I come here by 9 p.m. and I now go to get a court judgment to say, no, Sheon invited me, and I came all the way from where I was, and Sheon must interview me. There are processes, the guidelines and timelines for these processes were clearly taken alongside.
On and on and on and on like that. But to the guy that Werey Wike is currently using as the PDP chairman, you don't know much about him, right? You're going to see more of him. And I think he's kind of like skilled in that way, okay? So you're going to see much of him now in the next coming weeks and months, okay? But yeah, it was with Sheon this evening. To him, he's got nothing much to say. If they want to go to Supreme Court,
I give recognition to the National Caretaker Committee, which sought and was approved to join the suit.
Let me ask you, Honorable Mohammed.
Yes.
With the position of the appeal court today, what is the next action of your side of things? Because they are going upstairs, and I guess that you might horribly want to carry out congresses, convention, and at the end of the day, the Supreme Court will say, whatever you have done is also invalid. Is that your plan?
It may interest you to know that in compliance with Justice Omotosho's judgment, we have carried out our ward congresses and local government congresses. We will hold our state congresses on Saturday. And I can also tell you, and members of the party, that our national convention is coming up 29th, 30th. No two ways about that. We are holding our next meeting by Wednesday, by the grace of God. They want to go to Supreme Court. No problem. It is the same Supreme Court that 3 days or 2 days to the area council election that delivered a judgment, landmark, regarding the issues of internal party affairs of a political party. The Supreme Court said that the issues of internal party affairs is not absolute. It's not absolute, that you cannot do things with reckless abandon and then come out to say that it is internal affairs. You cannot refuse to comply with INEC guidelines, political party guidelines, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as well as the Electoral Act.
Let me ask you.
And I give recognition.
Right. So they are at it, okay? Meanwhile, while PDP is being buried slowly, bit by bit, part by part, and it's kind of like rotting away so far. The main opposition that is probably expected to replace the PDP in order to confront the ones that are currently saying Kolu can have all the 36 states as APC. What they just want him is a free and fair election. So I'm talking about the ADC. So this past weekend, some of them went back to go and officially, right, register themselves as members of the ADC because they started their online registration. So they one of their online registration, ADC online registration, they were spammed. Okay, people like Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and so many other non-Nigerians like that were actually registered as members of ADC. That to kind of like mock them online. And I think they fixed that now. So Amechi went back to Ubima. I'm talking about the Ubima, Judas Iscariot. But when they got to River State, he met kind of like a hostile group of people who actually attacked his own, procession, maybe in a parade or something, because he had a lot of people who came to welcome him so that he could register as member of APC in his own ward. But the night before that visit, a surprise fire just happened at the party secretariat, the ward secretariat, they call it Ward 8 in Ubima. Right? A surprise fire burned down the building they just rented for the party maybe like a week prior. So Amechi was there, checked that, left. And I think that was when the gunshots started, just like what happened in Edo State when Peter Obi was in Edo. I'll show you. First, I think his convoy moving down or going to, what do you call it? Going to Ubima after arriving in Port Harcourt.
At the same time, Lydia, come back. Lydia, come back. This is from 8 in the brain back.
Yeah. So the house was burned the night before. I actually had I've got the video of the building burning. That same office he just inspected there, right? This was it the night before.
K1, where you doing now? Where you doing now? K1, you can't delay. It's also then now. It's also then now. You became one of one model now.
I became one of one model.
No, before this one.
I saw I love mine. No worry. No worry. Some of me question, I'm going to spark. You know what you say? I'm going to Mola. We don't get security for this community. We don't get security. Come on, your place. You know what you say?
Then there is that part where they started firing and shooting at them because they are making them realize that 2027, anybody who is against the Tinubu, okay, it's going to be like you are fighting all these guerrilla wars. So you'll be meeting all these kind of hostilities. I'm talking about violence, hostilities from communities and places like that. And for Werey Wike, no, not Peter Obi, not Amechi, none of these guys would try to disrupt whatever plan they've had for our River State for 2027, right? So this part, they were shooting at them. So to those of you who are like the Gen Z that are planning to participate in their elections or not their charade, I better they wear bulletproof vests, helmets, and all of that stuff to protect yourselves if you are going to their campaigns, because I will have the chance of getting to that part where I can easily break down the organized crime, the level of organized criminality that they are going to put towards this year, 2027, right? We'll get to that part. So to Amechi, he said it's because they are all afraid of what is coming. That is why they are resorting to this intimidation and all of that, right? So he addressed his supporters.
APC was the governor's role. So the governors were fighting against the PDP and the then president. Now, that allowed APC time to build. So the society must know that we don't have governors that are fighting with the president. So the focus is on APC, but they must give us time to build. So we have to build a party that is formidable, that can confront the party and the government in power. And I can tell you for free that we think we'll get there. Why do we think we'll get there? Just opening the portal for registration. Individuals without being mobilized with their own money are registered. It is by Monday that I think the party will start mobilizing people to go and register. That's what I think. Now, are we doing well? The answer is yes. Are we ready to confront the party in power? We will sit and watch the people at the government in power. Why? Poverty, hunger, insecurity. People think insecurity is only in the north. On our way to Ubiba, people were shooting. On our way back, people were shooting. So insecurity is not just in the north, it's also here. The difference between that of the north and here is that this one is sponsored. If you see them carry guns, they were not running away, they were confronting the police. So these are issues that you need to address, and the government is capable of addressing them. They are partisan. Why would you see young boys carrying guns at home and you would arrest them?
Your immediate success.
My chief of staff, all those who work under me, will be very simply disrespect. I said the government did. I was grateful to both the Commissioner of Police and to the Director of SSS. They responded, they sent security to take us, to go with us to Ubima, conclude the registration and out of Ubima. The next thing is I told the Commissioner of Police and Director of SSS, those who participated in that crime must be brought to book. If they are not, if they don't do that, then the police are taking a position, right? So, and one problem Nigeria has is consequences for action. If there are no consequences, this boys will think that nothing can happen to them. And what does that do? It grows violence, it builds violence, it initiates more violence. And I don't think that's the best way to do it.
Now, as it stands, so the intimidation the APC-led federal government is doing to other
popular. I thought those people were asking about saying they were popular. All these measures, what they are doing is panic measures. They are scared. If you're not scared, let's put on the field. Let the people choose who they want to choose. What they are doing is they're trying to force people on the people. They're trying to force politicians on the people. Now, what ADC provides for you is an opportunity to choose who the right person is. What is our countermeasure to intimidation? What is our countermeasure to intimidation will be independent of mobilization. We must bring out the people. The reason why they are doing what they are doing is they want apathy. They don't want you to come out and vote. Because if you come out and vote, you certainly will vote for APC. If you want to vote for APC, go to ask yourself, what have they done? Okay, the noise was Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. Where is Lagos Calabar Coastal Road? I was Minister for Transport. I can show you evidence of what I have done. It be worried. Is there? Lagos, Ibadan. They are using it. APC, PDP, everybody's using it. Under construction, before we left, I don't know where they are now. Under Buhari. The seaport in Lagos. The Lekki Deep Seaport. Let this government show one thing they have done, either in the north or in the south, apart from stealing money. All right, sir. The more we are,
So to him, right, he's in the camp of those who want to come and save you. And the reason why they are being intimidated or targeted this way is simply because they won't subscribe to the Tinubu's style of politics or whatever, right? However, you remember that man called the Sadhguru Maharaji? That scary man. And I was so scared of that man when I was a little boy. And it was simply because of what people, because adults then pretended to be scared of him too. Sadhguru Maharaji. Okay, I saw his video. It was on a phone call, I think, with someone, and they were having a chat about what's going on in the country, right? And he categorically told that person he was speaking to, also recording him, that the insecurity in Nigeria is being sponsored by some certain people. And he started mentioning names. And guess what? He started mentioning the opposition members. El Rufai, Amechi, Adesh, you know what I mean? And the media quoted him. Listen.
Ẹsẹ̀ kan nìyẹn, ẹsẹ̀ kejì ni àwọn tí wọ́n finance wọn, àwọn Malami, El-Rufai, àtẹgbẹ́ wọn, Arẹ́gbẹ́ṣọlá, Amechi, Gumi, Rotimi, gbogbo wọn, Rotimi, Amechi. So wọ́n á gbọ́ pé wọ́n á pè wọ́n jókòó ni. Ó ló ṣe jẹ́ tó lọ fún bandit ní credit card. Ó lọ fún wọn lówó pé kí wọ́n má ṣe yín, kí wọ́n má múyàn mọ́, kí wọ́n má gbéyàn mọ́. Ṣé irú èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n fún lówó ni? Èló ni discount ẹ gbà? Gbogbo wọn tẹ bá rí olè jíjà, wọ́n pààyàn bì kan. Àwọn ará bíi ni wọ́n lu ọlọ́pàá. Owó dẹ̀ nítorí pé owó ló jọba ń sìn. Ibi tó owó bá ti dẹ̀ ti ń jọba, kí ẹ rẹ́dí láti sá lọ ni. Torí èèyàn jẹ́ nǹkan kan lójú wọn mọ́. So nísìnyí àwọn yẹn la máa mú. À á pè wọ́n jókòó. À á dẹ̀ ṣàlàyé pé òfin máa ń bẹ ní Nàìjíríà. Báyìí pé àsìkò Buhari jẹ́ pé ẹgbẹ́ yín. Buhari sọ pé òun lọ jókòó sí bọ́dà. Tí wọ́n bá ní kírí, wọ́n bọ̀ sí Nìjẹ́rì. Rárá, kò sí kankan lóbò lábẹ́ ọ̀run yìí. Ibi kí tó wà ẹni tó bá ti ná máa ń bá aráàlú jà, tó ń bá ìjọba jà, ẹni ẹ̀tẹ́ á ṣe é ṣe bàbá mi. Gbogbo àwọn yẹn ló kù tá a bá ti mú wọn.
Nuisance lélẹ́yìí.
I would guy man like that, okay? So he speaks so very softly, and he actually called himself a God, by the way. He is not a messenger of God, though. He himself is Sadhguru Maharaji. He is God. He called himself God. You know. Yeah. Meanwhile, we have all said this before. The sponsor of terrorism, that the government possibly have their details and all of that, should actually be what? Be behind bars. But the government of Nigeria, starting with, from the time of Buhari, even those that were questioned, arrested, detained, and later released under Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, they were never questioned. And despite the fact that there were even like updated activities of theirs that other international security outfits have kind of like reported on, like UAE, they reported these terror sponsors in Nigeria and in their country. Okay, so the government of Nigeria seems not to just have the balls. So if Sadhguru Maharaji actually have the evidence that these people are the people behind the terrorism, the first person they should say that to should be Kalu, is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Yeah. Because with the report of all these killings, these attacks, 5 different attacks on the Nigerian military base, right? Military posts across northern Nigeria, with God knows the number of how many military men, soldiers that have been slaughtered in the course of these attacks. no state has been so boiling. There's a place called after Goza, right? There's a place called Kodunga. That is also a military base that got attacked enough that 9 soldiers were slaughtered, were killed, among others. The report is the same in Zamfara, all these places. See, that attack in Kodunga, I wanted to share the video with us at this evening, but it was like a war video. It's on my Eagles Diary Political on Facebook, okay? However, the reports then was that when the terrorists were moving, they had this, I don't know, they had this satellite image or something that actually captured it, maybe not satellite, maybe not CCTV camera they planted in the forest to saw them move. And they notified the Air Force that they can see the movement of these terrorists, and there was no response, no nothing, until the attack happened, and it lasted for hours. People were slaughtered and killed. And it was after the attack that we made this video public. It was supposed to be something that should have alerted them. Take them.
They always share their safe, Miss Kaja. And they plan to, I feel, got a past 200. They plenty now, no be small movement. See. They all they start, they go right. They are moving towards the Charlie 1-1. And this same Lima, They are still there. Some are still there. Some are advancing towards Lima. Some are moving towards Charlie 1-1. They are sharing themselves. They are sharing themselves, sir. They are sharing themselves. This one now is done by God. So this one, the opinion, done by God. They share themselves. And they are clear. This one, man, here they won't come. This one, man, here they won't come. You are close to us. You are very close. 0 to Charlie. You are very close. Hold on. Some advancing towards Lima. Towards us, man. I want to be there.
Imagine that you've got you've got that kind of intel, and yet the attack still happened. Together now, the attack still happened. They still went on to go and attack this base and killed a lot of people, including the soldiers. Did you hear the part where they said that they are coming towards us? They are coming to Lima, towards us, but they are coming to this, so, you know. And I remember that somebody mentioned it, that the Nigerian government knows these terrorists even by their names. I can't remember that individual. Somebody said that yesterday. They are on their national TV. They have become so good enough that when they kill Nigerian soldiers, they will take their uniforms. They'll start wearing the uniforms. The terrorists, with the names of the killed soldier, they will have the name tag. Now they're already building the future, which kind of like to tell us that this whole war thing is not ending anytime soon. As long as the government doesn't have that political will. This video may be a bit disturbing for some of you, but look at them recruiting even the children, enough training them as a child soldiers, right?
Set.
Those are children. And they have them in abundance in the northern part of Nigeria, where they have their Almajiri children. They are the easy recruits. They will never run out of supplies or run out of recruits in that sense. That's Nigeria. Okay. But the attack that has cost almost every household in northern part of Nigeria, someone that they loved. Almost every household in northern part of Nigeria. I'll tell you, this young man had his own grandmother taken This was last night.
Dama kenan da wajen sako su kai. Dama gurin yayin suka zo su tafi da ita. Dama ta ce abba kawai ba su wayoyin nan namu. Dama da wayar ta da ta haka na ba su suka dalla wannan matar gidan mari. A gidan su malikin? Ɗaya kuma suka je suka kwaɗa mata kan bindiga. Inna lillahi wa inna
Displaced. They take your family members if you're lucky. If you are lucky, then you end up in IDP camps, internally displaced people, refugee camps in a nutshell. In those states, this is not like people who traveled to, they were not really traveling. No. People were inside their own home. They kidnapped a woman in front of her own child. There was a camera, of course, CCTV that captured that moment too. This is Ondo State, and this was yesterday, last night.
ọmọ kékeré yẹn gan wà ń bẹ ọmọ ẹ sá wọlé ẹnìkan tó wá gba ẹgbẹ̀rún ẹ jáde.
ẹni tó mọ̀ ni ìyẹn ní kó máa ń yìn láìpẹ́ yẹn dì mú kó máa ń yìnbọn ìwé yẹn ń dráàgì ẹ̀. àwọn mẹ́ta ni ọmọ yẹn sọ.
eléyìí tó wọ bíi green yẹn kò jọ fúlàní ńlá.
Ó
padà.
So everybody is a potential victim. You just have to wait for your own turn, as we call it, or as we say, right? Turn by turn, Nigeria Limited. Well, for those of you who have been expressing your disappointment or whatsoever around the Sunday Igbo's move to go and join the APC, I mean, I've got a video of him, I believe, explaining to those who are now his APC members and supporters or so why he's rooting for Tinubu to go for second term. And he did say that the reason why he's not by any means, he's not being probably hunted down or something like is because he's not among those who called for sit at home. So because he didn't call for sit at home, so people shouldn't compare him. Indirectly, trying to send a jab to Nnamdi Kanu. It's such a disgrace, by the way. But I will tell you what he said in Yoruba. I'll come back here. It's reason why he's rooting for Tinubu now.
Wọ́n Buhari tó jẹ́ president tó bá ti lè ṣe déédéé ẹ pín Nàìjíríà ó tí mo sọ nìyẹn kò tí pọ̀ jọ̀rọ̀ tí mo lè sọ lọ ẹ̀tọ́ mi ni mo béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni mo béèrè ó wá nípa wọ́n pa àdùgán wọ́n pa àbúrábàtà ìyá mi kúlé lórí wọ́n pa àwọn kan lẹ́kùn lórí ìrìn àjò yẹn gbogbo ohun tá a lè ṣe láṣẹ àrómìnira wọn ò fi mí lẹ̀ ìkẹ́dẹ̀ ń bàjẹ́ lọ ó dẹ̀ bí mọ́lẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ àwọn ọmọ mi sunkún mo gbà fọlọ́ ta ló bá mi rántí ìyá àdùgán ta ló bá mi rántí ìyàwó rẹ̀ bàtà àtàwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ mọ́ ta ló rántí fámìlì ìyá mi kò sí ó ti wà lọ́rùn mi nìkan okay now àwọn bàbá kan wá dìde pé ẹsẹ̀ sọlọ́dọ̀ bàbá tí mo gbé yẹn já lọ pàṣọ ọmọ rẹ̀ yìí lọ́rùn lẹ̀ kó lè máa padà tí bó ṣe ń ṣe nǹkan rẹ̀ wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ bàbá yẹn dẹ̀ ni mo gbọ́ ẹni tó bá ní kí wọ́n tẹ̀lé Tinubu náà yóò sòkò tọmọtọmọ. Sunday gbogbo ayé mi tẹ̀lé bàbá Tinubu yóò sì wọlé second time. Àwọn tó wá nífẹ̀ẹ́ mi tọkàntọkàn ó ní láti support Tinubu. Bàbá yẹn wá ní pé olùtọ́rọ̀ dé tó Sunday oníbẹ̀ ni bàbá mi. Bàbá àwọn bàbá olúmọ wá ní Sunday mo ní bàbá olúmọ ní Sunday mo ní sà. Security ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. O lè rí àwọn ọmọ bíi 50,000. Wọ́n ní bàbá mi máa rí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
Jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
Tí ẹ dẹ̀ lè fèsì àwọn terrorists tó ń disturb wa lẹ́yìn. Bàbá ní àwa sọ fún president pé ẹgbẹ́ security fún ọmọ ẹ̀ kó fèsì àwọn terrorists yẹn àti Kwara ni o àtẹniwé ẹ ní o ẹ lè wọ ọbẹ̀ wọ́n ní bàbá mi á sì jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ fàṣẹ sí. àwọn bàbá yẹn bá bàbá Tinubu sọ bàbá ní terrorist ni anike face pẹ̀lú bàbá terrorist náà là á fèsì kò sí tó pẹ̀lú àwọn Fúlàní tẹ́ bá ti dáadáa àbí Haúsá tí ń ṣe tiẹ̀ jẹ́jẹ́ àdéhùn pẹ̀lú wọn ṣùgbọ́n àwọn terrorist wọ́n ń wọnú ilẹ̀ wa pé káwọn bàbá wọn mọ̀ lòlò kọ́ mọ̀ lòlò àwọn yẹn ni àfẹ́mọ́ wọn ní kò sí tó fi ṣe yẹn lọ àríjà àwọn èèyàn rẹ̀ lọ kọ̀wé wá ẹ fọlọ́ ẹ bá ń pàtẹ́ òkú bàbá àti gbogbo àwọn ọba tí ń bẹ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá pátápátá gbogbo ọba tí ń bẹ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá lọ́dún tiwa lọ́wọ́ tá a wà ìjà tẹ́rọ̀rìsì kò ní dà tiwa nìkan ó ti dìjà gbogbo Yorùbá gbogbo àgbáyé ó ti dìjà àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó pé tàbá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí àwọn àtàjọ sí náà rè àwọn àgbẹ̀ ọmọ lo kò ṣe kó lo òun sì lo èmi lè fi ń dá bàbá mi lójú pé tí ẹ bá fi àyè gbà mí gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ yìí tí bàbá Tinubu ṣe fún adé sọ̀pọ̀ tí tẹ́rọ̀sì gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá là ń sọ nípa ẹ̀rọ wa tí gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ń bí wèrè ní àfihàn wèrè. So gbogbo ẹnikẹ́ni tí wọ́n wá ń kóra wọn jọ lọ́tún lọ́sì lórí bàbá Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu wọ́n pa àwọn rẹ̀. wọ́n kóra wọn jọ lódì Ọlọ́run bá tó rí mi tó ní wá gbogbo aláfẹnú wa kọ nípa àwọn bàbá yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni bàbá Tinubu bí táwọn ọ̀fẹ́ ni Ọlọ́run yẹn dáadáa ní ẹni ire ní ọ̀yẹ́ kọ́ sọ pé òun dárí jìbì torí mo kú.
ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ yìí ọ̀ ń ṣeré ni àbọ̀ ń ṣe èrè. àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí ó dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tí ọpọlọ rẹ̀ yòrò tàbí ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fi síbi aláṣà àwọn ọpọlọ rẹ̀ bí ọpọlọ ikú. ó jọ ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tọpọlọ rẹ̀ ò tó nǹkan rárá tàbí ètò wà ń bẹ kó má tiẹ̀ wúlò mọ́ rárá.
Now let me first tell you what he's saying if you don't understand Yoruba, so that you can understand how kind of like a far gone he has been, you know. Because somebody like I learn when like learn by you get. So he said when the Fulanis were killing Yorubas, he stood up to challenge them, right? And then he called on Buhari then to do something, but Buhari didn't do anything. And that was why he went and they did all of that to him. So after, when Buhari is gone, right? And he was allowed to go back to Nigeria. Okay, he said some elders approached him that he would take him to Tinubu. Okay, and he will go and apologize to Tinubu and probably pledge his allegiance or something. So he said when he went to go and see Tinubu, he told Tinubu that the reason why he did all he did that time was because Buhari was not ready to do anything. That if Tinubu supports him, he will indeed, liberate Yoruba land from the Fulani terrorists. So, and he promised Tinubu that he could mobilize more than 50,000 Yoruba youth to go after these terrorists. Then he went on to say, from what he suffered, they killed his own supposed brother, his mom's brother, right? They killed his brother, or his uncle rather. So they killed that one. They killed his friend, Adogon. His mom died. They couldn't be there for her during the last minutes. His children, he's got many children. His children were crying. Everybody was crying because of all that happened to him, and they couldn't see him. So he's practically saying that I did all of that, but everybody abandoned me. So it was me that suffered. I suffered alone. And at this point, I don't want to suffer anymore, which is good. I mean, it's his own choice. Okay. Then he went on to curse everybody, anyone that is against Tinubu. Said that, something will happen to them, something like that. So the reason why Tinubu must win the second term is simply because Tinubu forgave him, because he abused him. I abused Tinubu and all that. Sure you get. But the thing that people should understand is, if truly, Tinubu, if Igbo is not just is the usual that's the to Fijawaya, And to fi wa moto wo koko to fi ware wo so many other things to pada shele that time, right? So he's back. Who they like limelight gone? He loves it. He loves kind of saying things to you and your mama. So really? He loves it. And I kind of like, well, he should enjoy it. But what somebody like me would expect is that at this point, the same Igbo that told Tinubu that he could mobilize 50,000 Yoruba youth, by now, in the last 2 years, by now we should have actually seen that same thing happen in Yoruba land. But right now, more people are being killed under Tinubu. And anybody that, all those groups that are coming together to stop him, they want to stop Tinubu from winning second term. Igbo and others, they will fight all of you. They will even kill if they have to kill. And that's pretty much his forte anyway, you know. But yeah, it is what it is. And I told some of my people before now that, listen, don't get this wrong. You know, sometimes, right, things like this, they need to happen for you to understand that the journey you are probably like embarking upon, you get to see those who are traveling with you. So it is always about political patronage for majority of them. And yeah, that's why I didn't probably like move anywhere, unfortunately. But I have told my own friends that, you know what, don't do anything. There's nothing anybody can do. At this point, you just let everything play itself out. Make everybody, all of them shouting Yoruba Nation now. If all of you go back to their two videos 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, you will think that they would never have anything to do with Nigeria again. I mean, they were all so like that then, right? But that was all lies, all kind of like a play and all that, you know? And yeah, I hope they get paid very well. And I hope the pay is actually worth it. If it's about giving them this money to probably go and help them, you know, threaten, intimidate people, or force people to go against their wills in the name of defending Tinubu. We have seen worse. There's nothing new they can do. Okay, there's nothing new. We've seen worse. But there's always, at the same time, there's always that time that it's called the consequences. Yeah, the dildo. You know, the dildo of the consequences. What's the consequences of their actions? By the way, right? They said the dildo of consequences is mostly not lubricated. We shall be here. Sure. Now let's go to something else again. You remember that youth copper that was abducted, was being beaten on a video by the terrorists that took him? Yeah, in northern part of Nigeria. And it was actually declared because his family paid 10 million naira as ransom demanded by the terrorists. 10 million. The terrorists collected the money and sent them message that they are going to kill him. So the family went on to go and bury an empty coffin, believing that he's dead. Only for the terrorists yesterday, used their own phones to send a video. They allowed him to make a video on their phone to send it to his family and said, well, we haven't killed him. You still need to send the 20 million naira, or then we can kill him. So people are appealing. For those who understand Hausa, this is his own appeal. Somebody who was on a youth service, national youth service assignment, not even the NYSC gives a shit about him. And he's been with them now for how many weeks? 2 weeks.
Assalamu alaikum al'umma musulmi. Barka da safiya, fatan kowa ya tashi lafiya. Sunana Musa Usman, wanda aka yi. Uwana na yada jita-jitan cewa na rasu. Suna cewa na rasu har an yi min sallama. To alhamdulillah ina raye yau 19 ga watan Azumi, wanda ya daidai da 8 ga watan Maris 2026. Ina raye gani kuma ni ne nake yin bidiyo ina ba ku tabbaci. Ba Allah da Annabi su ina jira da masu ruwa da tsaki wanda za su iya tafi. Don Allah ina neman agajin ku da tafi. Kamar yadda kuka tafi ni a baya, yanzu ma an karatawa an yi magana abin da aka nima ma shi guda biyu. Don Allah don Annabi ina neman a taimake ni, a taimake ni, a taimake ni. Wanda ya taimake ni Allah ya saka mishi da alheri. Sannan yan uwana da suka yada cewa sun yi sallah, ina raye kuma ina neman su. Allah don annabi su daina yaɗa wannan jita su daina yaɗa cewa na rasu saboda ina raye kuma sun yi alkawari cewa in an ka kawo wa'annan abubuwan da an kai alkawari yanzu za su sake ni sannan kuma na tabbatar za su cika alkawarin su don abin da sun ka faɗi kenan to don Allah sai a taimake ni na yi wanga bidiyon ni saboda ina neman ceton rayuwata ina neman agajin al'ummar musulmi saboda girman wanga watan a taimake ni wanda ya taimake ni dan uwana da abokan arziki Allah ya saka muku da alheri na gode Allah ya saka da alheri.
Even in Ramadan, Baba, when Boko Haram was very hot, like when they were like hot in that time, during Ramadan, Boko Haram they take break. Oh. But since this APC came in, Baba, they don't actually have any break. And you are like, why would you be like shedding blood when you are supposed to be fasting and being gone? Of course, most of them are not actually that Muslim or anything at all. It's a bunch of criminals recruited under the guise of religion to drive whatever other hidden agenda they actually are, which is mostly to conquer all of us. How they're going to do that, I don't know. But yeah, Nigerians are being hunted like game. And every one of us is a potential victim. And there's so many ways this can actually get to you, not only when you are physically captured, brutalized by the terrorist. A family member is caught, if your community is attacked, they all have their own direct and indirect way of getting to you. You know what I mean? That's what makes all of us potential victims of this failed APC. And somebody will tell you that anybody that says that Tinubu should not do second term, he will do the second term behind there. We'll kill anybody if we have to kill. People are actually talking like that, even with the state of things in Nigeria right now. People are saying that, clearly threatening. So the sudden price changes in Nigeria, especially the petroleum products, PMS, which a lot of you are still figuring out what's going on. Well, people are already saying it is being linked to the war in Iran and Saudi, in the Middle East generally. So therefore, the price of the crude is shooting up right now. Okay, they haven't changed their own price in the UK yet, anyway. However, Nigeria, that is an oil-producing country, Nigeria that was supposed to have refineries that have been like fixed, working. That same Nigeria is, or Nigerians are now being told that it is because of the war in Iran. Yeah, the war in Iran. That is why the price of petroleum is currently jumping up. Even Dangote. So Dangote said that they are buying crude oil at the international price rates, and even the one sold to them by Nigeria was also paid for in dollars at the international price rate. So therefore, they can no longer give you 600 and how much per liter petroleum anymore. It's going to be 1,176 or thereabouts, and that's from the gantry. Because apart from the gantry, right? For those who are going to, if you go to the pump price, it could probably be like 1,200, 1,300. And as the war rages on, it seems that somehow, subsidy is gone. Conversation is about to hit you in the most unexpected way. At this level, or at this, this level of economic stagnation of this call, right? Something's about to hit that same economy now. And I don't think they can be able to patch it for long. I don't think so. I'm not an economist in that sense. So but when you put one and two together, right, you could probably like predict or project. Here is a Dangote announcing their own increase.
So on the gantry price, that will come out imminently. There is a gantry price movement. So we have paused loadings as of midnight and updating the system to the new gantry price as a result of oil spiking $30 in the last 24 hours. So there is a new gantry price. Gantry loadings will commence immediately on the system update. So dispelling myths, Dangote Refinery is fully open for business. If you want to come and live, truck entry is ready and ready. We will prioritize the domestic market for supply security, on the back of acknowledging that we are exposed to global money, and we are not immune. As a domestic refining industry that secures its crude on international benchmarks, we are not immune from those price movements, those commodity movements.
Business. Of course, now if you can afford what they are offering. So some people are already saying maybe they should, Tinubu, in fact, not like that. Let me rephrase it. Some people are already saying that Tinubu should not be encouraged to bring back your subsidy. As the war rages on in the Middle East, right? It simply means that Nigeria will make a lot of money if they manage to sell their crude oil this time. So they'll make a lot of money. And making a lot of money also means that Nigerians will also spend a lot of money. Yeah, the price of what you got so far that they told you that inflation is coming down is about to get jacked up again. So if a liter of petroleum has jumped from, I think, 700 naira to over 1,200 naira in some places right now, you should expect other, goods and services to follow suit, Abi. Yeah, in the coming few days, including transport. Yeah, transport would actually be the first. Then after that, every other thing will kind of follow through, right? So I wish you all the best. And Ramadan is here, and people are going to probably start doing their salah for Ramadan, the end of Ramadan. And I do not know how that's going to play out. So I'll leave you to it and see how far that kind of goes. I'm talking about money. Remember that time when one of the National Assembly guys, the senator, raised the alarm of a missing 210 trillion naira? Remember that guy? He's back at it again, trying to remind us of this still missing money. This all started from when Mele Kyari, the former guy in the NNPC, when Mele Kyari was in charge. Now let me tell you something. Remember that they changed the name of NNPC, which is the National Oil Company of Nigeria. They changed the name to NNPCL. They said it is now a private company. Do you know that NNPC was said to have spent 2.8 billion naira just to change the name from NNPC to NNPCL? So there's another agency, Parastata, wherever, inside the NNPC, whose budget also showed that they too paid 2.8 billion naira to change the name of NNPC to NNPCL. So in total, right, the government of Nigeria, or NNPC and NNPC, paid over 5.6 billion naira just to change the name NNPC to NNPCL. Yeah, that and many other ridiculous things that you get to read of how these guys make your money disappear. And except for the entertainment part of it, right? None of them is going to be held responsible. But for the record, this guy.
That, because under ideal accounting principle, it would have been liability subtracted from asset. But in this case, the liability figure is unacceptable to the committee because of the contradictions in the explanations, and also the asset figure, which is the accrued receivables, 107 trillion, is also not acceptable as well to the committee. So NNPC should and must account for the two figures. Then the two figures put together make up 210 trillion. The second resolution of the committee, that the NNPCL should refund to Treasury all production costs charged against crude oil revenue for the period under review, since the NNPC and its subsidiaries, NAPIMS and Co., do not directly produce crude oil. Immediate past management of NNPC and NAPIMS and their auditors to be laid by the present NNPCL management to provide clearer explanations regarding how these infractions happened, which will further enable the committee to take measures that will forestall future occurrences in the management of public funds. Immediate management of NNPC and NAPIMS, here what we are saying, immediate past management is, of course, Mele Kari as the group managing director, Umar Ajia as the chief financial officer, and Bala Wunti as the then GGM NAPIMS, should and must appear before the committee and to be laid by the present management with the entire body of the external auditors that served within the period under review that put together this. 4. That the Auditor General for the Federation should carry out forensic audit review of the audited financial statements of the NNPC for the period under review in line with Section 85 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended.
Hello. Laughing out loud. He's been at it for over a year now, I can tell you. Okay? But it seemed like I've seen him on TV talk about this same thing, right? But it seems like nobody is even listening to him. He's the senator, and his own committee is the chairman of his committee that is investigating all of this, right? Well, it's like nobody is listening to him. There's some investigations that they just leave you to be like performing theater arts or something. You will never see that money. It's gone. Gone. And right now there is, God knows the humongous amount of your resources they are looting right now that you're going to have to hear about later in 5, 6, or 7 years' time. You just have to sit there and just shake it and say, man, this country, man. Yeah, no chance. That's what they say. I mean, no chance. Nigeria the chance, man. Damn. Not with these guys. You know? In 2024, 2025, they proudly told Nigerians that they only had about 30% budget performance. Do you even understand what that means? Yeah. All of these are being covered with other propagandas after propagandas, and you'll be wondering how come things they are telling you they're not coming to pass. How come all these reforms are not being felt the positive way it should be felt? Because they are feeding you with lies, pure lies. Practically, when you look at what they are really doing, what they say they are doing, they are just far abstract, in total contrast to what they wanted to see. Far from it. This was one of the senators too, right? Abaribe, talking about the same thing I just said.
2025, there was no implementation of the capital budget of Nigeria. I want on a National Assembly that we should roll over 2025 budget, 70% of it to 2026. That Nahage made 30% here before. In fact, they told us they were going to bring out 30% before Wednesday of last week. Wednesday of last week, Roha said, no, Wednesday, the National Assembly has not resumed. I don't know because I budget also in 2026 that will not be implemented. So Anna said, Nanda City boy wouldn't run government in Nigeria. Okrani man own the village boy no. I mean a budget because I got do one. Onya usine my here. Meanwhile, I know my hammer. I got something on my hand. I want your. So all they are doing is voodoo economics no wa. Ethiopia.
We do voodoo economy. That's what they call it, or Tinubunomic. Usually it was Buharinomics before, but now you can call it a Tinubunomic. And it is a voodoo economy. The economy that doesn't reflect what data they want you to believe. That's that. The other part of our conversation tonight is also pretty much like a catch-up, okay? And this was the Seriake Dixon, the former governor of Bayelsa State, okay? He also left PDP about 2 days ago. His own reason.
A decision has therefore been made that, as painful as it is, as emotionally unpleasant as it is to me, this great party that offered us everything, unfortunately, may not be in a position to be competitive in the 2027 general elections. But for now, I and my friends across the country, after careful consultation for a long period, have been working, and we fought to put together an association to give Nigerians, all Nigerians, a credible ideological platform and alternative. Last week, INEC issued a certificate of registration. And we now have the newest party in Nigeria, known as the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC. And our symbol is victory, the victory sign. The victory sign. You now have a credible alternative opposition party known as the Nigerian Democratic Congress. Let me round up by formally announcing that a few days ago, in compliance pursuant to the Constitution of the People's Democratic Party, I formally communicated my resignation from the People's Democratic Party. Painfully, emotionally so. But then, that is the only realistic option available now. Communicated to the appropriate
politicians. Even Peter Obi was also in Anambra, at Agulu, it's Agulu Ward, the Agulu Ward, to register as a member of the ADC, as they are also doing their own online registration. So Obi was there. What you have to say?
Aside, we are flagging off. This is our register. The new register signed by our chairman, distinguished, respected Senator David Mark, GCON, and our National Secretary, His Excellency Ralph Adeboshola, and with the agreement of other national leaders, some of whom are here, that's what we are flagging off today. I'm wanting everybody that you go and ensure that you register, obtain your card, and go online. We want to register as many Nigerians as possible. The election in 2027 will be Nigeria against bad leadership. It is not going to be against them. I assure you, election 2027 will be Nigeria fighting for justice. Yes. We want Because people will say, oh, Southeast wants this. Southeast is part of Nigeria. Southeast wants to serve. Southeast, I'm sure, no other zone will claim to be more Nigerian than Southeast. Because everywhere you go in Nigeria, you will see somebody from Southeast who had built his own house, he living there, he didn't go there for transaction to go back. They live there, they trade there, they do their business there. And we in the Southeast are saying we want a new Nigeria where a child of nobody can be somebody without knowing anybody. That is the Nigeria we want. And I assure anybody that I personally is committed to a new Nigeria where we will invest in the health of Nigerians. A mother or a child that is sick will have a primary health care in his village. A Nigeria where there will be schools for our children all over Nigeria. A Nigeria where we will put Nigerians out of poverty. Because insecurity today can be reduced if we put people out of poverty. The more you put people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality. So
that's true. Unfortunately, that is going to be up to the people if they want to be out of anything at all. Because as things are going right now, call is at all of these things on lockdown. But the only thing that can change anything about your 2027 is if the people genuinely are tired of the APC. I mean, like, genuinely. Maybe they are tired, but they're probably not, like, fully tired. But time shall tell. So thanks so much for turning up this evening, brethren. All right. The last time I was doing that Mayegun live chat stuff, okay? You were asking if we could call in. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. If we don't have like a full platform broadcast like this, okay? So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Like the broadcast if you haven't already. Share it as well. And, of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, okay? I'm going to see you again tomorrow. You all have a good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Mayegun dayari dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nọ́mbà wá. Àní ẹ̀sùn Turaki. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn Turaki. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn Turaki. lórí Facebook
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí YouTube
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Máyégún ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Máyégún ti dé.
jíjó ìgbádìyẹ
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Máyégún ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Máyégún ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Máyégún ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Máyégún ti dé.
òkúra olóṣèlú
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú
Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀lọ́mọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.